Yeah, the title says it all. I've been out of work lately, like everyone else. The situation is hard on everyone, and while I had some savings and stuff for an emergency set up, I've been going through it pretty steadily. Food, pet supplies, bills. I needed to find some way to bring in cash. I've done everything people have told me about. Applied for temporary unemployment, started trying to sell my art online for some money, and started begging on sites like Craigslist for a job outdoors or from home. But I mean, everyone's hurting for money. Everyone needs it right now, and no one wants to give. I'm still okay, you know. Not at the danger zone yet. It helps that my landlord is waiving everyone's rent for a month, and then tells us that to let us all be on payment plans after that if we need to. My other bills are being really understanding and helpful too. But I still need something. So, I keep looking. I just can't stop, you know. I'm a little scared I won't have a job to go back when this all blows over. All this leading up to tell you that I got an email yesterday that was really weird. I'm just gonna copy and paste it for you, okay? Paid volunteer work. Hello, Mr. Rook. My name is Melody. I work for the N Company. Who we are, you might ask? Well, we're a French-based company doing work in therapy and psychotherapy, looking for paid volunteers to help us with our latest project. Our goal is to help people overcome deep-set phobias in the hope that we can make lives better and more fulfilling for everyone. In this difficult time, we understand that you are struggling, as we all are. And here at N, we want to do everything we can to help. That said, we still need a select, specific kind of person to fit this position. So below, I have attached a questionnaire for you to fill out and send back to me. If you're the person that we're looking for, we'll get back to you. Thank you for your time, and good luck. Melody W., Recruiting and Human Resources, N Incorporated. I censored some stuff so no one could go looking for her. She had a phone number included too, but I'm leaving that out also. Don't go looking for her, guys, okay? I don't want her to know that I posted this here, or anywhere. The questionnaire that was attached in the email, well, it was weird. I'll link it below in the comments. I mean, you guys can fill it out if you want, I can't stop you. But again, I would really rather they not know I'm sharing all of this, and I don't think it would be a good idea. Do those weird questions show up for you guys? The one about the face touching, and the be my friend thing. Frickin' creepy. The worst one to me was the one asking if I want to see a secret. Like, what kind of question is that? Or the one about if I would ever hurt myself, and how much it would take to make me do it. I mean, I filled the whole thing out, even the weird questions, because I figured phobias, fears, and the whole thing is designed to spook you out so they can do the research, right? I sent it in yesterday and figured it would be a while until I got a reply. I tried Googling the company afterward, but a surprising number of companies used its name, and I couldn't find any kind of link to their website itself in her email, which also felt kind of weird. Shouldn't she have provided that? I expected it to be a few days, you know, even a week or more before I got anything like a reply. So, it was more than a little shocking when I got a phone call this morning from a woman who sounded like she had had about 4 cups of coffee too many. Hello, Aiden, she greeted, like we had been best friends for years. My name is Melody. Thank you so much for your prompt reply to us. Hi, Mrs. W., I replied, flustered and half asleep because she called at like 8 a.m. It's, really good to hear back from you. Of course. You sound like a perfect fit for what we're looking for in volunteers, Mr. Rock. And I just wanted to go over a couple more things with you. Do you have any questions for me to begin with? Well, what will I be doing for one? I laughed a little nervously. The question survey was kind of strange. There is this question about my It's very simple, really. She interrupted. Maybe too sharply. Maybe with an edge to her voice. I wasn't sure. We'll need someone to stand our observation in a certain room in our building for about 5 to 20 hours, probably overnight. Does that sound like something you can do? What am I being observed for? The questionnaire talked about. Does that sound like something you can do? Okay, there was a definite edge this time. A snap to the sweetness of her tone. Like overly sweet, you know. Fruit that went overripe. At this point, a smart person might have called the whole thing off, said forget it, and realized that this was a really weird situation that felt off and dangerous. But then she spoke again. I forgot to mention, we're paying our volunteers $100,000 for one day's work. I could hear her smirk. 100 grand. How the heck was I supposed to turn that down? I laughed despite myself. Lady, for 100 grand, I'll stay in your stupid room for a month. She chuckled, and I swear to God it sounded almost like a purr. Oh, that won't be necessary, Mr. Rook. Just a couple of nights. I knew you would be the perfect volunteer. Well, that was even creepier. I suddenly felt handpicked, and not in a good way. Again, instinct was screaming at me to hang up and give up on this, to run away screaming and never look back. But 100 grand, to sit in a room and maybe get messed with. Well, I've never been perfect in my life. I laughed awkwardly, and she hummed in this tolerant, bored sort of way. When is a good time for us to meet with you? Was her next question, and I chewed my lip thoughtfully. What appointments do you have? I mean, I'm not working or doing much right now, obviously. Jesus, she made me nervous. Even over the phone with her sugar-sweet tone, I felt judged and found wanting. So, anytime then. How about Wednesday at, say, 6 o'clock? We'll have an address sent to you. Wednesday at 6, sure. I swallowed hard, sudden anxiety and a creeping feeling of dread setting in my stomach. Suddenly it all felt a little too real. I was and am painfully aware of how stupid I would be to take this offer. But I mean, that much money. That much just to stand in a room for a few hours. An empty room. It can't be that bad, right? What do you say? A couple of days ago, I made a post about how I was down on my luck with this virus going around, like the rest of us, and how I got this weird offer from a woman about a paid volunteer position. Well, I went to talk to them on Wednesday, like a few you suggested. A few others of you suggested I bring a weapon or something, that this would be a trick or a trap of some kind. I wanted to think that you all were being overdramatic and stupid, but my best friend Maria told me if I went out this way like some horror movie, that she would find a medium and seance me just so she could yell at my ghost. So, you know, I went ahead and brought the small gun that I have a concealed carry license for. It turned out to be pretty useless. Anticlimactic, right? But it did. The building I went to at the address provided was nondescript and average. It looked like any other typical business, with N Incorporated at the top in big, bold, business-like lettering. It was maybe 10 stories up and very plain. They did have a metal detector they expected me to walk through, but no signs posted that I couldn't have a weapon. I informed the security guard that I had a license for my small handgun, and they detained me for a while running a check. When it came back clean, I was waved through, surprisingly allowed to keep it. She was just as common looking, just as average looking as the building. She had blonde hair pinned back in a severe bun, glasses, pale blue eyes, a nice suit. Everything you would expect from someone like her, in a position like hers. Almost cliche, honestly. She greeted me with a calm, blase smile. Mr. Rook, she greeted calmly. Does having a weapon with you calm you? I hadn't been expecting to be addressed so bluntly or condescendingly, and I fumbled for a minute before I could answer. I mean, this entire situation is kind of weird, and I have the right to. I'm not telling you that you don't, Mr. Rook. I'm just asking a simple question. Does it make you feel better? I guess so. I replied uncertainly, and she hummed thoughtfully under her breath, like she was a robot that had just processed new information. "Interesting," she replied, and then motioned at the chair for me to sit in it, across from her. "It's good to see you in person at last," she continued. "I'm sure you have quite a few questions for me." "Well, shoot. Not literally, please." She winked at me. It should have been funny, but I just felt oddly uncomfortable. I took a breath and I forced myself to steady my nerves. It felt like something was watching me. Not her, something right over my... I spun around and saw nothing. Of course I saw nothing. I felt like I was being an idiot. Of course, she was good at doing that in general. When I looked back, she had both eyebrows arched. "Is everything quite alright?" "Yeah, everything's fine." I forced myself to face the front again, to face her cold eyes. I just thought that someone was standing right behind you, about to touch the back of your neck, your hair. Her smile spread, but it didn't touch her ears. Breathing down the back of your shirt, smiling just a little wrongly, with too many eyes and too many teeth. What the heck? I yelped and I spun around again, my chair clattering to the floor as I grabbed for the gun. I could feel it standing there, drooling, waiting to bite. Nothing. "Mr. Rook!" Her voice was shrill now, affected for the first time. Scared. "Mr. Rook, please sit down." I blinked once, twice, to realize that I had jumped out of my chair, hand on a gun looking pretty convincingly like a lunatic. "Please don't call the cops," I whispered, feeling dizzy and disoriented. You said... The last thing I said was that nothing was behind you, Mr. Rook. She said more evenly, but her voice was tense and her eyes locked on my hands. "I won't, but I'm going to warn you that if such an outburst happens again, I'll be forced to have you escorted from the premises." "No," she had said. I had heard her say. Christ, was I losing my mind? "I'm so sorry. I didn't sleep well and..." "I don't want to hear it, Mr. Rook." She motioned back for the chair, not taking her eyes off of me. "This is a list of rules and information regarding your position. Read it over, take it home if you would like. Our business number is there for any questions you may have. But I would appreciate it if for a moment you laughed." Yeah, I could understand that. Honestly, I wanted out of there as badly as she wanted me out. So I took the paper package she had handed me and I bailed, head down, red-faced. It was only after I had gotten home and calmed down that I was able to go look over the sheet that she had given me. I would upload and link it, but there's a ton of information, including some stuff that I would rather not have floating around online. Because of that, I'll just give you a summary of the important parts. Basically, it's a study in the phobia of small spaces and being alone, and the effect of sleep deprivation on them. I would be in a room for 2 or 3 days, and encouraged to stay awake as long as possible. I would be allowed naps during the day, I think 2 or 3 hours, and it would be like for 4 days. There is a huge long list though, that I have to agree to along with the usual. You are aware that this study might be dangerous for your health, and agree not to sue us and so on. It read like this. The undersigned will not disclose anything that he or she hears, sees, or otherwise experiences while in the experimenting room. The undersigned will not bring with him or her any of the following: weapons, outside food or drink, recording devices, religious paraphernalia. The undersigned understands and agrees to the fact that everything he or she did not bring into the room and experiment will stay behind once they leave, and nothing is permitted to go with them. The undersigned will not speak to anyone they cannot directly see, no matter what is said. The undersigned agrees that upon entering the room, they will not open the door for anyone. All employees will knock twice before letting themselves in. You see? Really weird stuff. But it was also there as plain as day on the paper in front of me. $100,000 for the completion of the job. It also said that if the undersigned were to be unable to complete the full time, that they would get partial recompense. That's another word that's put my hackles on end. Not pay. Recompense. I have until Friday to sign this and take it back to her. I keep thinking about the whole thing. The weird hallucination. The one that I had had in the office. The strange test. The weird terms on the page. It all feels like something you would be screaming at a horror movie protagonist to stop ignoring. Telling them to run away at the top of your lungs. Laughing at how stupid they were. But this is a lot of money that I need really badly. And I mean, like I said, this whole situation is about fears and phobias. Maybe this is all part of the experiment. Maybe if I said no, they would be forced to admit that they were already messing with me to see if it influenced my choice. There's no way this place could really be out to hurt me, right? It's legit and professional. There's a website and reviews. People know this place. And on top of that, ghosts, the supernatural, it isn't real. Anything that I think I saw or heard just had to be in my head, right? Hallucinations or something. I've got the paper on the table in front of me, where it's been for days. I keep picking up my pen and then dropping it, going to sign my name and then wussing out. The worst part is, I feel like ever since I set it down, I felt like something is impatiently waiting for my choice. Tense, excited, nervous. Like someone who really wants me to make a choice about something. Like at any moment, someone could reach out and grab my shoulder and hiss, "Will you make a choice?" right in my ear. I need a drink and sleep. I'll check back later. I signed the paper, and into the room I went. They gave me a laptop for the total 4 nights they had me stay in that room. I backed up everything that I typed. I don't know if they know that I did it. I don't know if they'll be coming after me over this. I don't know if they want people to know what had happened. Maybe they do. Maybe this is all just a part of their stupid test. I don't know. I second guess everything. I keep my doors locked. I got deadbolts for all of them, 4 per. I literally stopped on my way home from that building and picked them up. Sometimes I think I hear people knocking, worried about me. But we're not supposed to be socializing right now anyway, right? So they can go away. If they're there at all. Anyway, like I said, I backed up everything that I typed. If anyone sees this who was at the incorporation, you and your little experiment are messed up. And no amount of money made what you did to me okay. Nothing you're trying to do is okay. Monday, April 13th, 8 a.m. Okay, it doesn't seem so bad in here. Laptop, internet connection, lots of sites blocked though. Mostly social media, TVs, games, books. Really tailored to me. All based off of that survey that I took. Creepy but logical, I guess. There wasn't any mention of the weird stuff that happened last time I talked to Mrs. W. She acted totally professional and friendly. Everyone did. The building is crawling with people, all in pretty casual clothing, honestly. Business casual, but not what I was expecting, you know. They also don't seem at all bothered about the virus. No masks, no gloves, not even keeping a 6-foot distance from each other. I mean, I know a lot of places are still functioning normally right now, but it still strikes me as weird. Anyway, a really pretty nice girl met me at the door, made sure that I wasn't armed. They didn't say anything about the mace that I brought with me though, and she chatted with me while she took me to the room that I would be staying in. "Can you tell me the objective of this experiment?" I asked and she shook her head. "I'm sorry, love, I can't tell you anything or it might taint the results." She gave me a wink. "But I would love to chat about a whole bunch of things afterward, if you want." Well, God knows it's been long enough, but I mean, it isn't worth risking death to, die a little death. She does have really pretty green eyes. It's a toss-up. I mean, something is clearly weird with this whole situation. I may as well go whole hog and get some fun out of it, right? Monday, April 13th, 8 p.m. Well, that was like 12 hours of uneventful boredom. I might as well be at home quarantined because I'm doing the same stuff. They brought me McDonald's like I asked for, and they've got Hulu, so that's nice. I'm just flaked out. Well, that was weird. I thought I heard someone calling my name. They talked to me a couple of times through microphones, but when I asked, there was no answer. I had the presence of mind to bring those terms and conditions with me, and I checked it to see if there's anything about hearing my name called. Might as well, right? Nothing that I could see, but the more I look over these, the weirder they get. Like, what the heck is this about? Paraphrased. You might feel a hand on your shoulder. Don't scream. I didn't catch that before. I thought the stuff in the survey was just a joke, or messing with my head for the experiment. But other than the name thing, nothing too weird. I'm getting kind of sleepy. This whole situation is unnerving, but I'd keep telling myself they would never put me in actual danger. I mean, they never would, right? 2 a.m. Holy crap, there's something outside the glass observation area scratching. I keep trying to tell myself that it's just them messing with me for a reaction. 2:30 a.m. It happened. Something just tried to come into the room. I heard my name again and the door handle just kept slowly turning back and forth, and I swear something kept saying, "You said you would let me be your friend." Tuesday, April 14th, 8 a.m. I don't remember falling asleep. I'm not sure how I would, but here I am awake, and I think I'm done. Screw the money, this is too much. I don't know what they're doing or if it's hallucinogenics or what, but I'm done. 10 a.m. They won't let me leave. They insist that I eat my breakfast and they won't let me leave. They keep telling me that it would be breaking contract, and when I said that I didn't care, they told me that they would double the amount. They're not threatening me or anything, but I feel threatened. I know that's stupid. Maybe I should insist on leaving, but they did offer to double it. I don't know. Mrs. W says maybe I was just dreaming. I reminded her of her weird rules. She says that she doesn't know what I'm talking about. I think I'm going nuts. 2 a.m. Nope, I'm not going crazy. I can hear it. I can see it. Sitting in the corner of my room, breathing raggedly, like it's having trouble. Hunched over and staring at me with a crooked, gleaming smile. Its teeth are so white in the dark. I'm trying to type without looking away from it. I want to make sure that I get this down. It just asked me to be its friend. 3 a.m. It's gone, just like that. It's gone. I'm hyperventilating and shaking and afraid to move. I can feel something still in the room with me. I swear I can. Something keeps whispering that it just wants to be my friend. Or at least I think so. I'm not sure anymore. April 14th, 9 a.m. I'm being so stupid. Of course I keep thinking I see and hear things. It's an experiment about fear. They probably put something in the food or the air or something. I apologize for freaking out the other day. Yesterday. I don't remember anymore. It's all kind of blurring together. It doesn't seem to be any hard feelings though. They brought me breakfast and the cute girl even got me a coffee and played a few games with me on the other side of the screen since I'm allowed that. You seem really shaken, she told me over the game chat. Look, you know no one told you can leave, right? Are you looking at my journal entries? There was no answer, which I took as a yes, and then she said, we just really need you here to finish this. What is this? What do you need so bad? She went quiet again, and I noticed her game character had stopped moving. I can't answer that, she said very softly, but just you have to know it's important, okay? Important how? She logged off and hasn't talked to me since. I'm starting to regret agreeing to this. I'm starting to think that I was truly an idiot that should have listened to the posters on Reddit. There's something more going on here. Something really weird. 9 p.m. My door unlocked. Just randomly unlocked. I think I'm gonna go out. That's where the entries end. I don't really remember anything beyond that. The next clear memory is waking up in my room again, with Mrs. W telling me that I had done well and thanking me for my time, but that the experiment had reached its end and I was being dismissed. "You can expect your payment in parts over the course of the next few weeks," she told me, quiet and calm. But when she opened the door to let me out, God, her face. Something was wrong with her face. It was like her eyes were sunken too far into her face. Her teeth were too sharp, and her features were off, too perfect, too symmetrical. And her belly was swollen, like she was pregnant. She had not been pregnant when I started this. She wasn't. I would remember. I know I would remember. When I blinked again, her face was normal, but she was still rubbing her swollen belly fondly. "Thank you, Mr. Rook," she said, low and gravelly. "You've helped us immensely." It was as I made my way out that I noticed it. They all had swollen bellies. Every single female, including the pretty girl who wouldn't look at me as I went out. And when I said goodbye, gave me a look that was blank, unfamiliar, and unfriendly, like she had never talked to me before. "Thank you for your help. You've helped us immensely." Creepy. Like I said, I went out and I bought deadbolts from one of the few open stores around here that same day, and I've been locked in my house ever since. I can still hear someone knocking at my door, about once a day, and I keep thinking that I feel someone breathing on the back of my neck, or touching my hair. I looked it up out of curiosity. The company that hired me is called Naissance. That means birth in French. I don't think this was a psychological experiment. I think I helped bring something to life, and the bodies of those women into this world. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they want. I don't care, and I'm not going to look into it. I'm just glad I could help.